my admiration will always be intact for some of my heroes and even guys
Mhm,
that not and some of my heroes are not even like super known, like they're
mhm,
just
mhm.
the
Of
most
course,
regular
of
person
course, of course, of
you
course,
know of.
of
But it's
course.
just like I've always been raised to always be close to the people,
Of
always
course, of
keep
course.
myself humble and in check
Mm-hmm,
because
mm-hmm.
you know um the person who's cleaning the streets can teach you something about something.
Absolutely,
Anyone can teach you something, and it's
absolutely,
like and
bro.
it's, some strategies of work even can be applied. Like for example, if you look at some of
Absolutely.
those, how some of the way those young kids are doing business in the streets, they
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
like
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you see the way they move, you just if you just take
Mm-hmm.
a moment, you just observe the
And
way they
look.
move, you're like,
Mm-mm-mm.
shit, let me apply that shit to my business.
Exactly,
You
exactly.
know, and I think this is something talking about the music industry.
Mm.
I think there's something interesting about the way, our industry in Africa is evolving,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, still very much
Mm.
holding on to its. Hmm, it's a good and not a good thing at the same time, but
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
bad habits, or I would
Yep,
say
yep,
old
yep, yep.
habits, not bad habits,
Mm-hmm,
but old
mm-hmm.
habits can be
Old
bad or
habits.
good. It depends.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it's like, there's this mentality of like, yeah, I'm making the money still, but let me go see this big boss and ask him for extra bank so that but you're already making bank. You're like,
You're
oh,
already
like
making bank.
how
What do you
about
need
how
more?
about oh well, I mean, the thing is that you always need more money because your lifestyle obviously,
Yeah,
as
of
you know,
course, of course, of
evolves, right? But
course.
it's like, like I was having this conversation with a gentleman when I was there,
Mm.
very influential businessman when I was in Abidjan,
Mm-hmm,
and I was like, yo, but we have we are the continent where we have the most cyber attacks.
mm-hmm,
Well, some of the most cyber attacks that happened is in the world were on the
mm-hmm,
African continent in the year
mm-hmm,
2020,
mm-hmm.
right? Imagine if we use all this know-how and all this knowledge, you know, for something better than just trying to
Mm-hmm.
hack into somebody's account
Exactly,
or some dumb shit like
exactly,
that,
exactly,
and
exactly.
and made available
Mm-hmm.
access to a better, you know, balance of a better access to wealth,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
whatever that means.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It would be a great, great, great sign of progress. And on top of that, we might see a little less criminality, a little
Of
less. I'm not
course,
saying we
of
won't see
course,
any, we will see
of
some, but
course, of
you know,
course. Yeah, because it's about distribution. If criminality exists, is because this is disparity of wealth. Because we know that there's a lot of people that have access to wealth that don't
mhm,
redistribute it, and we see the lifestyle, we see the way they live and stuff. I mean,
mhm.
let's not lie to each other. We're in Africa. Like, I mean, as much as we don't want to be like your portray as the poor belly, the big belly with the flies, there's poverty. There's like
There
social
is
disparity and stuff, like
serious
serious poverty.
disparity,
You know what I'm saying?
serious,
I mean, like even me moving
serious.
back, moving back home to the country at the time, because I did some work in media before, like really diving in full fledged as a DJ, and I had a chance to travel inside the country. And like you always have this idea, oh man, Abidjan's the future. You have these things, you have this blah
Hmm.
blah, and
Hmm.
then you leave Abidjan, and you're like, what the fuck? You feel like you travel to pre-colonial times. Like you have places like where people don't have electricity, they don't have water, there's no schooling, you can't get sick. Like for instance, like to this day, like I've been living in Abidjan for 10 years. I'm not
Hmm.
scared of anything. Like I've pretty much seen everything and stuff. The only thing that I'm truly, truly scared of is being like really sick, like majorly sick, and having to like go to the hospital or go into things and stuff. That's what truly scares me here. Because if you don't have the means personally to be able to,
You're gonna die.
that's it.
Yeah.
We have the greatest rapper, one of the greatest rappers from Abidjan. His name is Almighty. May he rest in peace. Like I grew up to his music and stuff. There was Almighty and Stazel at the time in the 90s. I'm talking about like 94, like the really
Hmm.
when like Ivorian rap was like really taking off. They had like a legendary clash at the battle at the Hotel Ivoire at the time.
Hmm.
And this guy was a legend. you know. But he never really blew up internationally. He never had an international career, but he stayed true. He was like a true roots guy and stuff.
Mm.
When I moved back, I think early in the years when I moved back, he got sick and he died. The last images that I have of Almighty is him at a public hospital on a piece of cardboard. He died of malaria. How like the most randomest thing that can kill us, malaria. We all get malaria every time and stuff, but we don't even fully grasp how dangerous it is and how lethal it is and how little we have to really take care of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, this guy that was like one of my idols and stuff died on a piece of cardboard because he didn't have the means to go to the hospital to treat himself
You
because
see,
of that
this is
disparity.
where I'm telling you, this is where I have issues with some of our millionaires and
Of
billionaires
course, of
that we
course,
have on the continent, where they are
of,
very happy to spend
of course.
$50,000, $60,000 on bringing girls in a private jet, plus, actually, that's the minimum of $120,000 just to,
Mhm.
but when it comes to really truly investing into infrastructures and making available a certain set, actually, you
Just
know what, or
basic
just coming
necessities.
together with people who can actually help build, you know, like a mutual, like a little something that can help
Exactly.
artists or creatives.
Exactly. Exactly.
You don't even
Exactly.
have to do anything crazy.
No,
Like,
just like a
yo,
simple thing.
just a little simple thing. Malaria is killing somebody. It should not kill you anymore.
It's
And
not
in this
possible.
time and age, it
In
should not.
2021, 2021, it's still killing people, man. Like
Man,
that
it
makes
doesn't
no
even
sense.
talk about Angola. Like in Angola, I think last year there was this another scandal where this woman had, I don't know if it was last, but anyway, some not so long ago, a woman
Mhm.
literally died trying to, she gave birth to a baby at the entrance of the hospital.
Oh my god. See this thing?
Together with the baby, they died.
Mhm.
It's, and we are here talking, yeah, Africa is the future. Africa is now. No, my man, look,
No, no,
it's now
man.
for certain elite. It's now for
Exist.
certain,
It's very
un
elite.
certain pan
Exactly.
de la
C'est ça.
diaspora et de la
Exactement.
société. Mais
Exactement.
ce n'est pas ce
C'est pas
trafic-là
pour
que
tout le
les gens
monde.
qui sont à côté de
C'est
la
pas
vie, hein.
exactly. It's exactly that. Exactly that.
So all
Exactly.
that shit is great. We don't want to see that Africa, but bro, that Africa still
It's
exists.
real,
So you
man.
may not want to see it. You may not want the media to talk about it. But what are you doing about changing that
Hey,
thing?
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You just said it all, man. Thank you. Exactly.
Oh, I'm talking, and what am I doing? Oh, I'm not doing anything because you know what? I don't have the capacity to do anything, at
Yeah.
least not financially. But what I
Mhm.
can do is try to sit down with some of my guys that I know have
Mhm.
bank and see, like, yo,
Mhm.
what about you do this? But like a lot of the people, they're disenchanted, man. They're just like, yo, why the fuck am
Mhm.
I? Yeah, I have all this money, but
Mhm.
the same person I'm gonna help is gonna backstab me because the
Mhm.
system is also built as there's this thing
Mhm.
where it's like it's inside some people. Even if you help the person out, they'll still do
Always.
money whenever given the
Always.
opportunity. Or
Mhm.
they'll do you wrong whenever. And I'm like, yeah, but it's
Mhm.
I'm like, he's like, yo, it's a reality. And we're not
It's a
talking about like
reality.
this is not no white people saying this is not yo,
Mm.
very African
Mhm.
brothers and sisters talking about real experiences that they're having. They're like, yo,
Mhm.
we help. Like, yo, I have this person that works at my in my business.
Mhm.
I literally saved that person's child, and the next thing I
Mhm.
knew, that person backstabbed me
Mhm.
and stole
Always.
money from the from the safe and this and that. When I actually entrusted that person with, you know, and it's like,
Because like
okay,
I think it's a full mindset that we need to restructure. You know,
absolutely no,
like
we changed.
honestly,
Vetusta.
s- like it's gonna sound kind of like really like oh completely like leftists like to say that, but it's really capitalism. Like for instance, like I say that when I was in Egypt, those three
Yeah.
years in Egypt literally changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
Because of my dad's job again, like we had great opportunity. Our first house was in Giza by the pyramids.
Okay.
But it was an old house by the old ambassador, and he was like really like running to crumbs and stuff. So the government was nicely like appointed us a new house. There was a new area because Cairo was overpopulated. Cairo basically has a population of Ivory Coast, just to give you in like in proportion. Like Ivory Coast were about like 24 million people.
And that's Cairo.
Cairo, just Cairo, just Cairo. and that's not even like the undeclared side of Cairo because there's more people. So when I used to go from school to home in Giza, because Giza is in old Cairo, you used to like walk around and through like old neighborhoods. You driving around and your, the government officiated car and stuff, and then you look around and then you see like somebody like pushing a donkey, like driving a donkey and stuff, and you're just like, wait, what? You know? And then we moved to New Cairo, which is like this area, like you said, like for the elite and stuff. And we lived there. Like we had like Omar Sharif as a neighbor, like Lamborghinis, like like really bougie fucking compound and stuff. And one time I go grocery shopping with one of the boys I was working at the house. He was relatively my age, who was becoming a friend of mine. So I was like, "Yo, we're going grocery shopping." We had the grocery shopping inside the compound. But he was like, "No, we're not going there. We're going somewhere else." And I'm like, "Yo, I don't know any of the grocery shopping in the compound." He's like, "No, trust me, let's go." So we walk in. The compound is surrounded by like a gated wall, and there's like a small entrance where basically like all the workers at the house, which are mostly Sudanese, Nigerians, and stuff, go in and like go work, and they live in the neighborhood behind the compound. So you have this huge like wall, and then you have this small opening, and you go in, and you just like literally like I'd never seen a transition like that in my life. Like you go from extreme wealth to extreme poverty. There's no like middle, as in like transition. No. It's just like night to the like straight up. And I see that, and I'm like, what? Like, what the hell? What the hell is going on? And it messed me up like really like fully. And a little after, between like everything, like the Arab Spring was in full swing, Tunisia was in it, Algeria was in it, like all these countries and stuff. And how we came to Egypt was so like, I'm not gonna say stupid, but it seems so benign because you wouldn't even think about it. Just raised the price of bread by 10 cents. Just 10 cents. They raised the price of bread. There was a man in Hain Sukna who went and like poured petrol himself and lit himself on fire. Literally. He just whoop. That's how the whole thing started. And everybody, oh, if this guy does it, that means the system is boom, boom, boom. Before you know it, Ain was on fire, the Suez was on fire, everything, boom, and then that's how the whole Tahrir movement started. Twitter lit up, everybody, yo, we need to protest, we need to do this and stuff, and everybody was in the streets. But that movement, for one moment, because the revolution fell, but that's another talk, because like so like geopolitics and stuff. But in that movement, everybody was united to a common goal as to our society cannot work like this. It doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? And at the time when I was there, like because of my background and my dad's job and everything, I had access to a lot of things.
Yeah, you were dabbling in different waters.
Exactly. Couldn't necessarily see. And my take of it was that, yo, look at this place, the biggest shopping malls. You got the McDonald's, you got the Burger Kings, the movies, the Ferraris, the parties, international DJs coming in and all these things and stuff. Capitalism. But at the same time, you go in and you tie into this Western world and you're all bling bling, Gucci down and everything and stuff, but you forget who you are. You forget like how your brother from within even the same family lives. Just because this guy doesn't know the world that you got lucky to know, So when I was working there, I was in the revolution, I was talking to all these guys and stuff, moved back home, and I see, because we had our own crisis ourselves and stuff, and like we're in the shape of rebuilding the whole like Ivorian society from the 90s, that was the golden years, to the crisis, the first coup d'etat, to this and blah, 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 to reaching that key point in those past 10 years. After the crisis and stuff, and I see the country because I grew up in the late 80s, early 90s here and stuff. I come back in the 2010s, late 2010s and stuff, and I see this country. I'm like, okay, boom, 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 boom. We open a Burger King. Oh, we have this. Oh, we have a shopping mall. Oh, we have movie theaters. Oh, we have this, that opening up this. I see these guys, and I'm like, great. The country is developing. That I'm fucking happy for it, but trickle down for everybody. Is it developing for everybody, or is it just developing for a select few who make it seem as in like this place is a paradise when the rest of the country is in shit?
That's exactly what it is, and that's exactly what the problem is. I mean,
Exactly.
it's a great thing, but the problem is that because it's not well, and you see, this is the issue because a lot of these people they send their kids abroad to study
Mm-hmm.
abroad. Those kids
Mm-hmm.
eventually come back, study, I mean, work for big corporate
Mm-hmm.
companies,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
etc. So it's a self-fulfilled prophecy where it's like
Exactly.
everybody's
It's like a
within the
vicious
same thing.
circle that just stays like this.
You feel me? Where it's like, okay, how this is the thing, right? And at the same time, there are people who have the a little means or a
Yeah,
little
the
bit of
will.
money, and they
Yeah.
have the will and they're trying. But
Mm-hmm.
and as they try, you have the people. I don't know if it's out of resentment or if it's out of whatever
Mm-hmm.
it is, or if it's just
Mm-hmm.
intrinsically inside the system, where it's
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what? Let me fuck this person over. But bro,
Mm-hmm.
that person is literally trying to give you the tools so that you can go fish for yourself.
Exactly.
But then you're
Exactly.
gonna go and burn down that very aye, boss.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
not how we get things done.
No,
It's
it's
fucking
like
software.
it's probably the biggest paradox in life for me because, like you said, you have this guy that had this
Mhm.
chance to had opportunities and stuff. Thankfully, there are those that exist and stuff because as much
Yeah,
as we
it's not
don't
of
have the
course, c'est pas
system,
tout le monde.
ouais, il y a des gens quand même qui sont là, qui ont la bonne volonté
Très
d'essayer
bien.
d'aider.
Si, si, si.
Le gars, il va venir avec toute sa volonté, tout le truc, il va venir, il va essayer de monter un super projet, tout quoi, pour aider le gars. Celui qui va recevoir, là, par jalousie, par simple jalousie. Alors que
Mhm.
là, vraiment, tu as une opportunité de créer quelque chose, de tisser un véritable pont et de monter un meilleur futur pour toi-même, tes enfants, les générations futures. Non, non, non. Toi, qu'est-ce que tu vas faire? Tu vas te dire, non, lui, là, il a plus d'argent que moi. Donc, moi, je vais essayer de le gâter. Et puis, and we just spiral down like this. I'm like,
You know, even that conversation about like, oh, white people, this or I said, hey, first of all, it's not all white people come with this mentality to fuck
exactly,
shit over. There's some white people that really
exactly.
have good intentions
I have
that
the,
are not trying to come and appropriate
exactly.
anything. They just genuinely want to be part of the solution. They're
But
not trying
even,
to
like,
be the white
especially that,
savior. They're just trying to help. Stop fucking diabolizing everybody.
exactly,
Like
exactly,
fuck,
man.
man. Not every. It's like,
Exactly.
oh, we are no, we are not perfect. We are not perfect. We are
Nobody
far from it.
is.
Nobody is. So
Nobody
please,
is.
whoever is willing to be part of the solution should be
Mhm,
welcomed. And when they try
mhm.
to, act up, keep them in check. But
Exactly.
fucking welcome people and stop
Welcome
like,
people.
non mais
And
tu vois, c'est de mentalité,
especially
c'est
parce que, en
terrible.
fait,
Hein.
ce qui me fait mal à ça, c'est que, comme tu dis là, the whole, like, yo, the whites and blah, blah, this, it's scapegoating because even ourselves, like, we're so hostile to each other. Like, we're
Mad,
brothers. Même
mad.
peau, on a la même peau, même sang là. Mais entre
Mhm.
nous-mêmes là, on s'aime pas. We don't even like each other.
Now you're talking about mempo. Imagine now me, somebody with my mix.
Ah,
Father was mixed race. My mother is
mhm,
white.
mhm.
Ooh, les grattés, là, on les appelle
C'est ça, les grattés.
in
Ouais.
South Africa, they call us yellow bone or whatever. It's like,
Mhm, mhm.
but yet I identify as black, and I have 15% of my blood that's black, and I was born and
Exactly.
raised in Central African Republic.
Mhm, mhm.
How am I supposed to be? Now, anyway, when you stop looking for validation, you're okay, and you know exactly how to play your part. Because it's
Exactly.
like at a certain point, you're like, you know what? I'm not here to prove to you anything. I'm
Exactly.
just gonna do what I do,
To do what I can.
and hopefully you see
Mhm,
what I'm trying to do.
mhm, mhm,
And either you jump um, on board, and
mhm.
we take this journey together for a little while, or you know what? Yeah, someone else will. But
Someone
I,
else will. At the end
I,
of the day, I'm gonna do me.
I,
Yeah.
and this is where, for example, you see a lot of people that come in, and like I'll say artists that are from the continent.
Mhm,
You know, they, and no matter where in the African continent, like,
mhm,
overall, they blow up in Europe or in the western part of the world, and all of a sudden there's this entitlement,
mm,
and vice versa for
mhm,
also
mhm,
for the diaspora blowing up
mhm,
here,
mhm,
going
mhm,
back on the continent.
mhm,
There's this entitlement. It's like, I need a private jet now. I need X millions of
mhm,
CFA to
mhm,
be performing at this place.
mhm, mhm,
And then they end up only performing for the presidents or for some private.
mhm.
They'll go private,
Exactly.
which I understand. Like, we've
Mhm,
done it. I've also done private events for super
mhm,
VIPs.
mhm,
But I
mhm.
always say, look, I need to be doing an event for the people.
Of course,
And
of
I
course.
don't care if it's,
Mhm.
like, I'm probably one of the only guys of my, I was, well, what you want to call it,
Caliber.
category, which
Mhm,
technically, yeah, okay.
mhm.
The reason, even though I'm that caliber, a lot of the guys from the same caliber I am don't see me as such. But Again, I'm not looking for their validation
Of
whatsoever
course,
because,
of
like,
course, of
it
course.
is what it is.
Hmm.
But I'm one of the only guys that, in my caliber or weight category, well, which I should probably say, that will take a gig in fucking Niamey, Niger.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Oh,
Because
but
these guys won't try to go over there, you know.
first of all, and the money, there's no fucking money. But you
Mm.
know what? I'm looking at it what? As an opening of an
Hmm.
opportunity.
Of
I'm
course.
looking at it as me spreading that sound. And if I
Hmm.
can use my notoriety or my presence
Hmm.
or whatever,
Hmm.
because in those countries there are VIPs as well.
Of
And you
course.
know what? Um, don't think of yourself so much that
Mm.
you are better than anyone. Because as you
Hmm.
humble yourself and you say, look, I humble myself and I come to you,
Hmm.
I respond positively to invitation. Obviously, the minimum has to be met,
Hmm.
decent conditions, of course.
Hmm.
But as far as the rest, let's make it work. And when
Absolutely.
you do that, you know what? People are more than ready to meet you halfway. And of
Of
course, there's going to be
course.
good and not so good experiences. But I think
Hmm.
that there's a necessity
Hmm.
to really like fucking humble yourself because at the end
No,
of the
it's
day,
important.
we wear our pants the same way. You don't levitate.
Dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you cut your blood is not gonna pour out like diamond or gold. It's the same red blood. Like, really, because like like there was I had a sociology professor back in college that said something that really struck in my head. It was like we were studying anthropology with like Egyptology, with like ancient Egypt and like
Mm,
all these pharaohs that had like all these like, oh my god, they were the rulers of the world and blah blah. And I'm like, yo, at the end of the day, okay, you made pyramids and stuff, you made these fancy ass tombs, you got fucking buried with your gold, but you didn't take your gold with you.
no, you
Your
didn't.
gold is here, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just your body
It got
that you take with
stolen.
you.
Shit.
Yeah, it got stolen. It's in museums today that don't even belong to you. You know what I'm saying? So like money comes and goes, like travel and stuff. And I'm not saying it's not great. I'm not saying like, okay, let's all live like hippie life. No, no, of course. I'm just
Mm,
saying though, like you need a sense of reality. And I feel like, especially in our
sense of
industry
reality.
and the way it grows right now, and the way we live in this world of comparison where the image is everything and stuff, which is it has a double side, and a lot of people start seeing the wrong side of it because they're more like, okay, oh, I need to live to this certain standard. I need to wear this. Oh my god, I cannot like go eat in this restaurant. Like, what am I gonna do? Even like literally, like you're a child of the village or something, and you grew up in the village, and then like your parents are gonna come be like, yo, listen, it's like a birthday or something. Come play a charity thing. Your kids are gonna love it. You're gonna be like, what am I gonna go do? Play at the village? You see what I'm trying to like that self entitlement thing that you were explaining about, and it's so like it's disgusting. It's
And,
too
and,
bad that it exists.
and again, at the same time, and that's something that I noticed from the diaspora. So there's a thing. So when there's some genuine artists, genuine, people, public figures that will go to the village that would actually truthfully, meaningfully go there, try to see
Mhm,
how they can help,
mhm, mhm,
how they can use their notoriety, their link, their network, etc., to help better maybe some little things, But
mhm.
it takes several hands to build something, right? It takes
Absolutely,
several bricks to build a house, and it's
absolutely.
one by one, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm,
as you understand this approach to construction of anything in life is one step at a time.
mhm,
Why then? And I've seen that, so for example, Beyonce, Beyonce
mhm,
is a big controversial topic. And oh my God,
mhm,
she never
mhm,
came to Africa. Da, 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 da.
mhm,
When she comes, she's I'm like, oh, recently when she bought that Mercedes with Jay Z, the
mhm,
$500,000 or $5 million, whatever the
mhm,
price of the car
mhm.
was. But who gives a flying fuck, man? It's their money. They
It's their
worked
money.
for it. Like if they
They
want
do,
to, if they want to fly to fucking Mars, it's their
dude.
money.
Let them do their shit. You know what I'm
They're
saying?
giving back already.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, they're not like, bro. The simple fact that that woman rocked your gear, used your gear, and she's giving you more visibility than you would
Absolutely.
ever dream in your
Absolutely.
wildest dreams.
Absolutely.
But yet you're gonna
Absolutely.
talk shit about that?
Mm.
Oh well, I didn't get. What the fuck are you? Why do you feel so entitled, man?
Mhm,
But we are in the society of, and Keisha was actually talking about that. We spoke about that very regularly,
mhm,
and he spoke about it again on the show yesterday. Was that he said it's all about emotions now. There's no more logic.
mhm,
It's all about
mhm.
how I
Absolutely.
feel, and how I feel is more valid than
Mhm.
the
Than
logic of the
anything.
situation that I'm
Than
observing.
anything. Exactly. Exactly.
Right,
Exactly.
my friend?
Exactly.
Tu vois
À
ça?
quel
C'est ça.
moment? À quel moment on est arrivé là-bas?
Mais tout ça là, on va le payer parce que
Mais bien sûr.
this new generation now with this entitlement where it's like, oh, where kids don't even know what to do if there's no internet.
C'est
Some
ça.
kids, at least in this side of the world, if you don't have internet, I've seen
Ils sont perdus.
they're
Ils
losing
sont
their
complètement
mind.
perdus. Yeah. Yeah.
But why? Because most parents will rely on the app on the iPads
Internet
to,
now to exactly.
and of course the kid's gonna learn something, but it's like there's not enough. But also the system is made or is built in a way that as a parent you barely have time to spend time with
now to spend with your kids.
You gotta make ends meet. So one of my friend, she was like, "Yo, I'm going to vacation and I'll come back broke," and I was like, and she's like, "I'm getting paid monthly. I got a salary, and I'm able to save a little bit, but I didn't spend nothing special. Just I was there with my son, and I was like, that's the system, man.
That's the way the system is, man.
And then but we're going deep now. But
yeah,
how it goes, man. We and it's cool, whatever. At the end of the day, I've made absolute pieces that there's certain things I don't speak about because I just think that it's not for the public. It's not to be spread out there, but I think that we all know that between the lines, there's a lot to be read.
Of course. And that's the thing. Like, of course, we're not gonna solve like all the issues on the world, and like you said, like nobody's perfect. The way I look at it is just try to find the right balance. Like nobody's gonna say no to opportunity in this life right now.
I know people who said no to opportunities, my man. Bro. There are some people who are saying no to opportunities.
Respect to them.
I don't know if you say respect to them because that's dumb as fuck to me.
Hey, but anyway. Man, today, with everything that the way the world is, if you have the opportunity, like hardly people will pass to that, At the same time, with everything that comes in with that, like all the rewards and advantages and stuff, that's the thing, because like that same discussion, I have this discussion really regularly with a lot of people and stuff, and every time it comes back to the same thing, and I find it funny because it feels like we all became somehow greedy. It's like, but it's their money, they're allowed to do whatever the fuck they want. I'm like, okay, fair enough. I'm not saying like you get your money, become Mother Teresa, and like give it all away and stuff. No, but I'm saying just find a balance.
Of course.
Find just a middle where
Don't forget that some of these people, they don't always do everything public. Donc il y a des choses que toi tu penses que la personne fait pas, que la personne fait en secret.
La personne fait. Et plus même que toi-même qui est en train de la critiquer, en fait. C'est ça le truc.
Because this is the thing. That's why for me, I don't open my mouth to talk bad on somebody because myself, I am not doing what I'm talking about.
C'est ça.
All I can do as a Central African and as an African man, Central African in particular, but as an African man, is to do my best to honor the continent and honor the legacy that was bestowed upon me by truly being true to what my father, my grandfather did for our people and for anyone that they touched the lives of, as in trying to really be there to help, trying to support in whatever shape or form. So if this conversation that you and I are having can impact somebody's life on the continent or elsewhere,
dude,
really
we don't want it. We want it, man. That's
until there's enough money to be saying, okay, now let's go and invest into this, into that. But the problematic is that even when you have the financial resources to do these things, it seems like because people have, and this is deeply ingrained, I would even say in our DNA, the scarcity, the poverty, the experience of despair is so deep that sometimes your belly is too empty to see
what's in front of you.
All you need is just that immediate reward, which is I beg. All of that shit is great, Where is the money now?
Right now.
On peut avoir la conversation avec un gars, le gars va te comprendre, il va se dire oui.
C'est
À la fin de la
bien.
conversation,
C'est bien. Mais maintenant, là, c'est comment?
On vient payer, il faut me gérer un petit truc là, j'ai besoin de prendre un taxi. Et puis tu dis, fuck, we just literally spoke about. And you're like, but it's cool. You don't even say anything. You just, dig into your pocket and give that little something. And it's like, cool. And eventually that conversation, the more you have it, it's planting a seed. And that seed, whether you want it or not, is going to start, bearing fruits.
Exactly.
And I've seen it was one of my, childhood friend, and it's like, it's amazing, and yeah, he's probably struggling, but he's in the States now. He's in Texas, and he managed, like, this guy's life is, if I was, you know what, I think I'm going to do a show with him one day, just so that he can share his life.
Story.
Because, man, this guy's life from the day we were kids, the day we met as kids until now, as a grown man that he is, has been, bro, when I say nothing but fucking challenges, survivor. He's one of my friends, my childhood friends, that I have the most respect for, because
absolutely,
my man, he was an orphan at a very early age. Both parents passed on. Man, everything that he managed to do until this day, je lui tire mon chapeau, je dis, frère, tu sais, Dieu ne dort pas. God never sleeps.
Ça, c'est clair.
There's something great for you that's coming. You just don't know. We don't know when. But there's a reason why it takes some of us on a certain path of pain and struggle. You just got to have faith. You just got to have vision.
Amen to that.
And that's why a lot of people, when they see the bling, they don't see all the work and the despair and the moments where you just wanted to give up, just like what you said. You're like, yo, I just stole my computer, I just lost my dad. I mean, like, what the fuck, man? What am I doing this for? Let me just go. Let me just fall back in the ranks and just do what I need to be doing. And then here we are, your true destiny, your true calling has actually had the last word. And it's like, yo, just go. And now here you go. You guys have last Sunday. You guys have built this thing for yourself, but also for others, because even though you may not necessarily be putting money in those kids' pocket, you're giving them an experience that they would have to probably had to travel abroad to see half or a quarter of that. But now they have relatability because it's happening on their ground, in their city, on their soil, with their own people. And it's like, and it's like, how is that not inspiring? It's got to be inspiring. It's got to be giving them the fuel and the energy, with young creatives like young Mushi and all these young creatives, and like ils vont dans les tu sais, tous les, ce qui est impressionnant, c'est tout ce qu'on appelle les on appelle ça les friperies, les balles, quoi.
Les friperies et tout, ouais.
Ouais, but that's my mother used to dress us out of friperie, man.
Exactly. Et tu vois, en fait, c'est marrant how like it became full circle from like us that had like a certain upbringing and stuff. Not that we were poor, not that we were super rich either, but our parents were humble enough to be able to make us like understand the realities of life. Donc on est tous passés par porter des friperies, tu vois. Sans honte, hein.
And good stuff, hein.
Je te jure, man.
Don't play with friperies, man. There's sometimes stuff are brand new, man.
Tu trouvais de ces vrais trucs en friperie. Et qu'aujourd'hui, ça fasse le full circle pour se retrouver avec cette nouvelle génération qui se réapproprie le truc et qui le réadapte autrement. Like you mentioned Young Nushi. Dude, you're a legend. Young Nushi, since the beginning, man. Syncap also. No, these are...
Yeah, man. There's a bunch of...
We call them the plug. Because if you're looking for something, just ask them, and they'll find it.
But that's a skill and that's a gift, and that comes out of an inspiration drawn from these events, from these gatherings, from looking at what's going on in the States on TV. So this time spent being inspired by this culture from the African Americans or Black people in general, right? Doing what they do in the western part of the world, ils ont approprié ça, c'est-à-dire ils ont abidjanisé l'affaire, ils ont dakarisé l'affaire, ils ont kenyanisé l'affaire, c'est-à-dire que we appropriate it, and because we bringing it back to our standards of elegance.
C'est ça, en fait. C'est comment toi tu le définis, comment tu te l'appropries, parce que j'en parlais même tout à l'heure. on était au Bushman avec l'équipe et tout, quoi. Puis on discutait, je sais plus de quoi on parlait exactement. Et puis on s'est dit qu'il y a eu un changement, like a paradigm shift in the way people looked at Africa. And a lot of it had to be with what's his name, that movie, Black Panther. Because Wakanda now, Wakanda now, Wakanda now, Wakanda now. Avec notamment the diaspora that actually lives there. I remember, like, back in college, my roommate's girlfriend is white. Okay, my roommate is American Haitian. He's light skinned like you, and his girlfriend for the holidays that came from the Well family and stuff was traveling to Africa. Okay, so I was like, oh great, you're going to Africa and stuff for the holidays, like great and stuff. Like, where are you going? She's like, yo, I'm going to Africa to see the animals. And I sat back and I got mad because I was like, you realize you can't go to the zoo to see the animals. Like, there are people that actually live there. And she's like, no, that's not what I mean. We're going to safari, it's not the same thing. And I'm like, again, you can't go to the zoo. Like, there are people that actually live there. Like, tell me you're going to a city or something, and then eventually, you want to go to safari. But don't just tell me you're going to travel all the way to Africa just to see the animals. Like,
that's what back in the days, that's how most of those people were doing.
Et du coup,
and it was normalized.
No, tu vois, exactement. My what's it called? My roommate, we got into an altercation because he was like, yo, what the fuck, man? Like, leave my girl alone. Like, what you on about and stuff. I was like, bah, on s'est pris la tête pour rien. Mais à la fin du film, je lui en veux même pas parce que c'est l'image de l'Afrique qu'on vendait. Tu vois ce que je veux dire?
Because even him, unfortunately, as Asian American, he has a perspective. He has a perspective of his own country. Because have you been to Port-au-Prince?
Non, pas encore.
Oof, my man. I felt at home in Port-au-Prince. Port-au-Prince is chaotic in such a massive, dramatic way. But I felt home. There was I was not bothered. Obviously, because we are street, you have that street sort of like adaptability, trying to notion the movement, to positionner. I did not feel any particular ways. I was like, wow, that's cool.
Tu sentais chez toi.
I'm cool.
Parce que ton côté africain a résonné avec leur côté africain. Et c'était authentique. Tu vois, c'était pas faux.
Beaucoup, et comme tu as raison, comme tu as dit, c'est-à-dire que si lui, il vient d'une certaine élite, parce que c'est la couleur de peau là chez eux, ça tient beaucoup.
C'est ça joue avec le truc.
D'ailleurs, de manière générale, dans tous nos pays, c'est souvent ça. La peau la plus claire.
Bien sûr.
Whatever, it is what it is, But unfortunately, there's a sense of like, and obviously one extreme will attract another extreme. So obviously you're going to have an extreme on one side and then it's going to make room for another. But eventually, it's very interesting how extremes eventually. There's a man, what's his name? Let me find his name quick. He's one of the most intelligent men in the world, man. This guy is something else, yo. What's his name?